Law firms, as hard as they try, can't differentiate from their competitors, and that's because differentiation is largely a marketing mirage. And yes, of course, there are exceptions, those that create new categories in new markets, but for the most part, you're all playing the same game. If you're a compensation practice, you're essentially saying the same things as every other compensation practice. If you're a family law firm, you're doing similarly. Client-focused, early resolution-focused, family law experts, accredited specialists, collaborative family lawyers, and it goes on and on and on. Metaphorically, for the most part, it's like walking 100 meters down a busy street in a metropolitan location and then being asked at the other end, recount 5 people who stood out. You'll struggle. This is precisely the challenge facing law firms today. You exist in a sea of similarity with hundreds of firms claiming the same things. The messaging is virtually identical. And it's not your fault, it's simply the reality of professional services marketing. When industries mature, true functional differentiation becomes increasingly difficult. So what's the solution? Well, stop trying to be different and start focusing on being distinctive. Here's the crucial distinction. Differentiation is about being functionally different, offering services or benefits that competitors don't. Distinctiveness, however, is about being recognizable and memorable. It's not about being different, but about creating mental availability as per the work of Professor Byron Sharp. Now, this approach is supported by decades of research in cognitive psychology. Nobel Prize winning psychologist and Professor Daniel Kahneman identified 2 systems of thinking. System 1, which is fast and intuitive, and System 2, which is slow and analytical. While clients may believe they're carefully evaluating law firms, the reality is that System 1 plays a dominant role in their decision making. They're more likely to choose the firm that comes to mind easily, feels familiar, presents recognizable elements, and creates emotional connection. And this is where distinctiveness becomes very, very powerful. So how do you implement distinctiveness in your law firm? Well, start by developing consistent brand assets, elements that make your firm immediately recognizable. There's a reason that Geico Insurance in the United States has the primary brand asset, a gecko. There's a reason why in Australia Shine lawyers run collateral with an obscure orange board placed behind people. There was a reason why Morris Blackburn for years ran a voiceover that sounded just like Brian Brown. And there's a reason why Australian Tiles is hugely successful because of the voice of Frank Walker. There was a reason that Logan Law, with their blunt billboard signs written in handwriting, worked. All these examples aren't about differentiation, they're about distinctiveness, and they don't necessarily have to make sense. Read Professor Jenny Romanouk's book, Better Brand Health. The effectiveness of distinctiveness over differentiation is deeply rooted in human psychology. The mere exposure effect shows that humans naturally develop preferences for things that they encounter repeatedly. Distinctiveness leverages this by ensuring that your firm is consistently recognized. Cognitive fluency demonstrates that our brains prefer information that is easy to process. Distinctive elements that are consistently presented become cognitively fluent, making your firm the easy choice. The availability heuristic reveals that people judge the likelihood of something based on how easily examples come to mind. Distinctive law firms become more available in potential clients' minds. The recognition heuristic shows that when people are faced with multiple options, they tend to select the one that they recognize. Distinctiveness builds recognition even without comprehensive knowledge. You might believe you serve sophisticated clients who make purely rational decisions. Even the most sophisticated clients are human beings subject to the same cognitive processes, and research consistently shows that perceived rationality often masks unconscious decision making influenced by familiarity. To transition your firm from pursuing differentiation to embracing distinctiveness, start by auditing your current brand assets to identify elements that could become distinctive. Map your client journey to find opportunities for distinctive moments. Develop a strategy identifying specific elements you'll make distinctive. Create implementation guidelines ensuring that everyone in your legal practice maintains consistency. In the crowded legal marketplace, most firms cannot achieve meaningful functional differentiation. The real competitive advantage comes not from being different, but from being distinctive, from creating mental availability that makes your firm the first one potential clients think of. In the crowded legal marketplace, most firms cannot achieve meaningful functional differentiation. The real competitive advantage comes not from being different, but from being distinctive, from creating mental availability that makes your firm the first one potential clients think of. That's the game, and the big players know it, and they do it well. If you're competing against them and not prepared to think distinctiveness, keep playing the short, and you'll be like the plenty of others who call our agency 2 years too late, frantically wanting us to press that fictitious button that says instant clients now.